Hey, listen up. We got another episode of Wise Kracks, featuring the crack man himself, Bill Krackomberger, and our co-host, John Orlando, straight from Las Vegas. Wise Kracks is your ticket inside the world of sports betting, with tips, picks, special guests, and more. Only on WSN.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wise Kracks. I got Bill Krackomberger in the studio and a special guest, Bill.
Yes, Bernie Fratto showed up with some donuts.
Which is torture for me right now. Torture.
Yeah.
I like looking at them though. I mean, but I didn't partake.
Make sure Travis and Lana, they could have some.
Right? Yeah. Travis is no stranger to a maple bar.
Oh yeah, he just said the maple bar.
Pre-show maple bar.
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah, this is going to be fun. What's going on, Bernie?
Well, first of all, happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you too.
It's good to be with you guys. I had a blast
with you too.
Last time, and look, I'm a simple guy, right? I really am. I mean, hell, I had a Lunchables for dinner last night, and I live by 3 simple rules, right? One, I never go to an ATM machine.
Ever?
Because I want to get my $200 and get the hell out of there. I'm always stuck behind some guy doing a leverage bank buyout, right? I'm here. What are we doing here, right? 2, I never go through a drive-through. All I want to get is my Happy Meal, get the hell out of there. And I'm always behind some guy ordering enough food for the 5th fleet.
Okay.
Right? Stuck, right?
Yeah.
3 things. Love Thanksgiving. Always want to give thanks.
So good.
Because I genuinely take stock this time. I'm thankful. I didn't know you till 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Very thankful you're going to come on my show. Crackman, we go back 12 years. I'm genuinely thankful for little things. And when I take stock during Thanksgiving, as you guys well know, you're going to encounter times in your life where you're kind of up against it, right? You've faced your maker a couple times, right? Faced rejection, faced setback. And you look back on those times, and one of the best life lessons I was taught by Dick Schaap was, it's not what happens to you in life, it's how you react. Life is only 10% of what happens, 90% how you react. So if you want to have success in this life, I'm thankful for that nugget I learned many, many years ago. And every time I think I want to feel sorry for myself, which is never, there's a great story. You guys remember who Jack Johnson was, the great legendary boxer,
Sure.
Of course,
heavyweight champion of the world from the turn of the century, last century, 1912.
Yep.
He's driving through Alabama on the freeway, speeding, and he's on his way to a wedding, and he gets pulled over by a cop, and he has a white woman next to him in the car.
Yep.
Now imagine it's 1912.
Yeah.
You're a black man with a white woman during Jim Crow.
Yeah.
The officer says, you're speeding. That's going to be $50. $50. Now, 1912, $50,
That's a lot.
Yeah.
$1,600 in today's money.
Yep.
What does Jack Johnson do? It's not what happens, it's how you react. Coolly reaches into his billfold, pulls out a crisp $100 bill, hands it to the officer. Officer says, I don't think you heard me. I said $50. He goes, well, officer, in about 6 hours, I'm going to be coming back this same way at the same speed, so you might as well keep the change.
Wow.
Not what happens, it's how you react.
I like
Good to
that.
be with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
that's great.
I'll tell you what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful that our producer, Rob, finally got the notes on the script right for this week. Finally, because he wrote the Eagles are not looking like the leader in the division. Bill, he's finally admitted that the Cowboys are the contender to beat, especially after they smacked the Vikings around. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Vikings really didn't show up for that game. I don't know. It was a total shock. I mean, the Cowboys were a small favorite on the road, but I needed the Vikings that game because I have some Dallas things I'm against. I have some Minnesota things I'm on, and that put this team in check probably. So, listen, the Cowboys are a good team.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And
Defense.
The Eagles got out to a real good start, and they're lucky they did. They almost lost this week to the Colts. And literally, I'll look now at the division winners, and they're a big favorite. Yeah, they're minus 375 still in the division. Dallas plus 300.
That's a great bet, no? To win the division?
They're 2 games ahead. I mean,
Right.
the Eagles' schedule's pretty. The Eagles have a very good schedule. Listen, the Dallas is legit. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're legit. The Dallas Eagles game, I think it's in Dallas too. That will be the game.
Right.
That will be interesting. I'd like to see the look-ahead line on that. Actually, that's. I'm going to think it's around. Bernie, what do you think? I'm going to say Dallas Eagles is around Pick'em. It's in Dallas. I'm thinking. I could be wrong. It could be Dallas minus.
I think I'd make Dallas 2.
Okay. Let's see what that's going to be, because that's
they got an elite pass rush. They sacked Kirk Cousins 7 times. I mean,
Yeah.
and we don't know if that game, how important that game is going to be, to either team playoff wise. So I'll find out in a minute. But yet, I'll just tell you now.
So you won't jump on Cowboys plus 300 to win that division?
I would rather take, and I don't like futures because there's such a big juiced market.
Right.
I would rather take like Dallas to win the Super Bowl at 15-1.
Oh, I like the way you're talking, Bill.
I'd rather take
Say
that.
it again.
and then you can hedge back.
Because you could hedge it back a little bit, and I'm not a hedge guy either, but that's just
Wait, Dallas is 15-1 to win the Super Bowl?
this spot.
What did they open at this year? Lower than that?
Probably. I mean, because they're saying they're not going to win the division. That's probably why.
Bernie, would you jump on Dallas to win the Super Bowl or no?
12-1, 13-1, 15-1.
I probably wouldn't.
Little
You
spot.
wouldn't.
I probably
You make me
wouldn't.
sad, Bernie.
Well, no,
You make me
listen,
sad.
It's okay.
Well, here's the deal. In the NFL is better when the Cowboys do well.
Yeah.
Right? They're fun to watch. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference. There are people who hate the Cowboys and love the Cowboys. Same
Yeah.
emotion. I like Jerry Jones. Huge Jerry Jones fan. I like what he's done for the league. I like what he's done for the city of Dallas. He's an interesting guy. I think it would be great for the NFL. I wish I could trust Mike McCarthy, and I wish I could trust Dak Prescott. I just can't do it. And if I put them on a neutral versus the Niners, I make the Niners 3 on a neutral.
Right.
If I put them on a neutral with Miami, I make Miami a slight favorite. If I put them on a neutral with Philadelphia, they concern me. But I'm rooting for you. I think it'd be great. I think
You're right. 1.5 points. Dallas is a 1.5 point favorite at home versus the Eagles. Wow.
What they did to Minnesota, let's not forget, Minnesota had really emptied the tank the week before against Buffalo. That was an incredibly emotional game, and in the weather, and they come back. And a couple of oddities about Minnesota you probably knew. They were 8-1 heading into that game.
Yep.
Yet their point differential was only plus 35. Now they're 8-2. They're the first 8-2 team in history to have a negative point differential. It's never happened. So that plus 35 point differential was so narrow, that was only good for 8th in the NFL, and their yards differential was minus 229. That's 23rd in the NFL. By the Pythagorean theorem, Minnesota should be 5-4. Okay?
Right.
So there was some questions about them, and I also don't trust Kirk Cousins a lot. I do think they're a good play Thursday night, though. It's been my style always when an NFL team is embarrassed, and they were embarrassed, get right back on. Yeah. Pittsburgh was embarrassed a few weeks ago.
Sure.
They came back. Yeah.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
I like it.
Cool.
Thanksgiving this weekend, obviously. Any advantages to be had with games more spread out this week?
No, I mean, listen, it's a short week for these teams. We know that, but it's a short week for both teams. So, no real advantages. I know one thing. You can guarantee when you got two favorites like this, Buffalo minus 9.5, Dallas minus 9.5, you can guarantee that many people will be betting 7-point teaser, Buffalo and Dallas. Keep that in mind because we're going to see what's going to happen. By the way, I'm not one of them. Keep that in mind. Let's see what happens this week. Because, listen, for some reason, there's an old-timer that told me this, and he's so right. And he said that God just has a way of protecting the bookmakers. And everyone's going to be laying on this teaser. Trust me. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Detroit or the Giants don't win outright.
Really?
Listen, this is
I'm
the
in
year.
agreement.
This is the year of the
This
double
is a
digit.
weird-
This is the double-digit dog year. I mean, I think we've had 6 underdogs, double digits win outright. It's sick.
We've had the last 6 double-digit favorites have covered. Carolina was my best bet last week. They were catching 13 against Baltimore. Baltimore coming off a bye.
Double-digit dogs, you mean? I've covered.
Apology.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for correcting me. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So Baltimore coming off a bye last week. They're laying 13 against Carolina. Since 2005, teams coming off a bye laying double digits, only 5-17 against the number. Carolina hung in there, and it took a turnover. Here's what's weird. Thanksgiving Day has been a favorite day since 2004.
Absolutely. Good point.
Favorites are 68%.
Favorites have done great.
But I think you're paying that tax. And I was on the phone this morning early, right before I texted you. I'm told Buffalo's not going to let Josh Allen run a lot. They're protecting his elbow. They don't want him to run, and that's a lot of their offense, right? He's having trouble with accuracy the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, he has.
So
Secondly,
you got to tell me, I got to bet under rushing yards right now then for Josh Allen.
I'm told they're not going to let him run.
Okay, good.
They don't want him to run. He didn't run a lot last week.
Yeah.
Secondly, in Detroit's played some weird, gutsy, tough games.
Yeah.
One-score games against
I
Philadelphia.
like Detroit.
Catching
too?
a bundle.
Yeah.
Always.
You might get
There's
10 when you
spoilers.
wake up tomorrow. And
Honestly, there's 2 10s on the screen now. You can go to stations, you get a 10. There's 10s now on the screen.
here's what I wanted to say, though. Detroit's rush. You know Jamal Williams leads the league in touchdowns, rushing touchdowns.
Amazing.
Buffalo gives up at least one rushing touchdown every week. So I
They haven't impressed me the
think
last
Detroit hangs that number.
4 or 5 weeks.
I think Detroit hangs that number. I
Yeah.
haven't fired on it yet. Dallas, it feels to me like this could be name your score. There's one problem. It would be so on brand if they're trailing in the fourth quarter and something goofy happens. That's what scares me about the Cowboys. Just the trust.
I
You're
agree.
saying like a backdoor
blow a
cover.
lead.
A backdoor cover.
Detroit,
For the
Dallas.
Dallas Giants.
it's a divisional game. You're laying over a
Well,
touchdown.
and look
on
at
a
last
stand.
week. Our eyes deceive us.
That's
too.
right.
Our eyes deceive us.
That's right.
Public says, "Oh my God, Dallas just killed Minnesota. The Giants just lost outright to Detroit as a favorite." Our eyes deceive us week to week. That doesn't mean anything
It's
in the
a week-
NFL.
Well, and I'll tell you one. Look, simple question. When the ball is in the air, who are the books going to need? Detroit or Buffalo?
Without a doubt. Listen, the books are going to need both dogs.
Then
without
bingo.
a doubt.
Bingo. That's
Yeah.
where I want to be. When the ball's in the air, I want to be the side of the book.
Yeah, I actually wrote down that note, and there it is. 1 week's result, it's so hard to win. I'm going to talk about that Sunday too. Our eyes so much deceive us, and I love that I can think of these things. When I was a kid, I was an idiot. I was a sucker. My eyes deceived me. I was a stone cold loser. I could talk about that, and I lost lots of money on things just like this teaser. I'm not saying it's not going to win either. I'm just saying I'm not laying 13 to 10. By the way, you can't even lay 13 to 10 in this town anymore. It's 14 to 10, 15 to 10, and guess what? There's one sportsbook that charges 16 to 10. No one can beat 14 to 10. By the way, long term betting.
Nobody. Do you know that long teasers this year are cashing at about 58%?
Yeah.
The problem is
You have to win
to make
73?
73% to make money.
Yeah.
Wow.
The only reason I don't like teasers is because you need 2 outcomes. And
Yep.
when you need that second outcome, it just has a funny
Does
way.
get there.
Yeah.
Doesn't always get there.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
are you
yeah.
with the Jets? I'm high on the Jets, even though that terrible ending last week with that punt return crushed me.
That should not. Anyone that bet that game, man, if you bet the Jets,
I had a
I
$50
bet the under.
parlay. I only do money line because I can't handle the spreads.
Yeah.
I don't like the spreads, and I
Yeah.
like taking dogs also. You know,
Yep.
I had a $50 parlay, and all I needed was the Jets for 3,700.
Oh my God, that's
Isn't that
terrible.
disgusting?
That's terrible.
Isn't
Terrible.
that disgusting?
Terrible. They got a new quarterback this week. They're benching. He got benched. Did they? That's official now.
Mike White is officially
I've
starting.
seen it under a text, but I didn't know it's official. This kid started before. Remember the
Yeah.
game he started? Like
He
his
flashed.
parents were in the
He
stands.
flashed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Zach, they're finding out that Zach Wilson has a little Ryan Leaf in him. Maybe not that bad. I mean, I got a lot of NFL moles. This is not good, right? But the Jets have an elite defense, and it's a shame they lost Breece Hall
Yeah.
because
Giant name.
Giant
name.
they're going to beat the Bears. I think they're going to beat the Bears. I'm not sure if Justin Fields is going to start. Doesn't matter. Jets got an elite defense, and as long as they play ball control, field position, don't commit penalties. Robert Sala's got that team. They block and tackle very well.
Yeah.
I think the Jets are 75% to make the playoffs. Now,
It's
could they
amazing.
not?
Yeah.
Do you? Maybe you don't agree. I think there's
No,
it's not
they've done
100%.
great. Kidding me? They're over their season wins already.
Yeah.
Yeah. What don't you like about Fields? I thought Fields was like the big name over there. Everyone talking
Okay.
about him in Chicago. The
Man.
kid scrambles, got like 180 yards scrambling. And
Quarterback is a position you play with your eyes on the NFL level. His default mechanism is to run. He doesn't stay in the pocket. He takes too long to get rid of the ball, and he's not accurate. You have to operate from the pocket. You receive the ball,
Yep.
you make mental snapshots with your eyes, and you have about 2 seconds to execute.
Man, it's crazy that you say that because like just watching games across the board last Sunday, so many quarterbacks holding on to that ball so long. I'm like, what are you doing? And they get sacked or they hurry a throw.
Watch Joe Burrow.
Get rid of it.
Watch Mac Jones. Make fun of these guys all you want.
Yeah.
Watch Jimmy G. They get the ball.
No, Burrow's great.
You got Burrow's a genius.
He's a great
He's walking to
quarterback.
the line of scrimmage making his pre-snap reads.
Yep.
He knows if you're in
I
man. He
agree.
knows if you're in zone. Then he'll see the adjustment, and he knows. Justin Fields can't do that yet.
Yeah.
He came out of Ohio State where you want your
Peyton Manning was great at that.
Oh my God, he wrote the book on it.
Yeah.
That's what you need more than anything is recognition. You got to be able to isolate what's not there, execute. Fields is a world-class athlete. No two ways about it. He's a good field general. He's a good person, right? He can run like the wind. He can throw. He's a college version of a dual threat. In college, you're a runner first. Oh, yeah, you can pass. In the NFL, if you're a dual threat, you can throw from the pocket. And, oh, yeah, you can run. Even when Fields runs, his recognition's not there. I'll tell you why. He just makes it up as he goes. If a team is in a zone defense, you run vertically. If a team is in man-to-man, you let your guys sight adjust their routes, and you get the ball to them, right? He doesn't do that. You roll, let your guys sight adjust your routes. But if they're in zone, the DBs are backs to you when the guys are running their routes, and this free safety's 30 yards away. You got to recognize that. He hurt his shoulder last week trying to slide. I kept saying, if he keeps this up, defensive coordinators are going to put a spy on him, and he's going to end up with broken ribs.
Wow.
And he may not play the rest of the year.
Wow.
He has got to clean that up.
Right.
I mean, if you want a punt, pass, and kick competition, you want Justin Fields.
Let me give you a way to bet the Jets this week. Instead of laying the money line, which is, let's see what that is, the Jets this week. Just a quick idea I had here looking, and it's a good idea. People don't look at to do stuff like this. So the Jets this week, instead of laying that money line of, got to be 2-1. It's 2-1. It's 2-1 money line this week. You could bet something like DraftKings. You could bet, will the Jets make the playoffs? The yes is plus 125. So you bet the yes plus 125. If they win this week,
They make the playoffs.
if they win,
much.
if they win this week though, it's not going to be plus 125 next week. Even though they're a favorite this week, it will not be plus 125. That's an interesting way to bet money line. Take the 125, and next week if you can maybe hedge a little bit if you'd like, but you're in a better position just for the money line of this week's
like
games.
that.
I just thought of.
Probably a lot of teams you
Well,
could do that with.
You could.
Remember,
right?
they've added one more playoff team, so that helps their
Yes.
cause.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're facing the 30th ranked defense this week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to one more our last topic a topic I hate, which is soccer. But let's talk about it. World Cup has been a disaster. I think we can agree.
There's some controversial things. I got a phone call yesterday too and said, "Oh, they're investigating this fix and that fix." Listen, everyone in every sports book across the world watches the game from their side only.
Yeah.
So they're not even looking at the other side of the game.
Right.
So automatically when they lose, can't be them that did it.
Right.
It can't, I didn't lose this
It's
game.
fixed.
The referee did something.
Yeah.
The coach did
They're all
something.
in cahoots.
The fumble.
Yes.
This is fixed. And it makes them keep coming back.
Yeah.
So I've heard this stuff. Do sharp guys bet? Yeah, there's big giant money overseas. It hasn't caught on here in America, and maybe Bernie can help us with this. I think the next World Cup is here. Is it here, or two World Cups from now? I think it's in the States, and that
Yes.
may be changing.
Yeah, I think you're right. It is in the
It's going to change some things here. I think.
Is it?
I would.
Well, it was here in '94.
It was here in
I covered it in Detroit.
Oh, wow.
Did anybody care? Yeah.
They
Nobody
care
cared.
while it's going on, and I'll be honest with you. For instance, the USA-England game, Friday morning at 11 a.m. our time, Pacific time. Every sports book's booked. Go call Circa, you couldn't get a seat.
Right.
They're all
Really?
booked.
Oh no!
yeah.
I walked in a sports book the other day with the soccer Caesars. I couldn't believe everyone in the. Yeah, it was yesterday.
The watch parties. They're showing them on the
couldn't
news.
even move, and there's a lot of people in town that came in that flew in from out of the country. There's a lot of people that came in town. We're United States of America. We have a lot of foreigners here, and we welcome them with open arms, and they're here now in droves. And these people are soccer fans, so it is getting bigger here.
The fanaticism is real.
Producer Rob just put in the notes. 2026. It's in the USA, Mexico, and Canada.
Oh, okay. So it's got a mixture there.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, that's right. North America. That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's correct.
So Saudi Arabia won yesterday at plus 28 to 1. I've
That's
seen it one sports
insane.
book.
Were you on that or no?
Insane. No, I haven't bet. I haven't bet anything at
No?
all. Even today, who won today? Someone won today.
Japan
Bernie?
over
Japan beat Germany 2-1, and
plus 550.
Was it
yes,
Japan plus 550.
and
Yes. Soccer.
somebody was burying Costa Rica 3-0 early.
I can't even get into
Well,
it.
Spain's
And that's
winning
what. See, here's
today,
why.
but they're
I
favored.
wrote it when I was with Dick Schaap. I wrote a piece about this. I called it the Canadian Football League syndrome. Right? Canadian Football League's hard to watch. You don't know who's playing.
Right.
You don't know the significance. We don't have the Monsters of the Midway and the Gas House Gang and the Murderers Row. Right? Same with soccer.
Yeah.
Right. So Gareth Bale goes and plays for LAFC. He's a star for Wales. And you watch a game. You don't know who's playing. The names on the game. You don't. That's why.
Yeah, I can
There's
only
no-
name Ronaldo and Messi. That's all I got.
And he just got fired by Man City.
I don't even
Right.
know that.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like big international news. Right?
You know, Bernie,
Yeah.
you mentioned Dick Schaap. I have to tell you, I love Dick Schaap.
Yeah.
I loved him. I love Dick Schaap. I told this someone I met him. I did an ESPN Sports Center during March Madness a couple years back. And I wanted one thing from the ESPN guys. I was like, guys, can you get me this Dick Schaap video that he did after he died? They did a momentum video.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
Flashing before my eyes.
that's it. Howie Schwab got me that.
Mm.
It was so good. It was like an hour or 2 hours. It was so good about what happened, flashed before his eyes, and showed
that
all
was
his
the name of
history.
his book.
It was so good, and it's so great to know that you were with him, and he was that same
I
guy.
think I sent you a copy of the letter that he wrote. It's
Yes,
my
you
most
did.
prized possession.
Yep, you did.
By far, because we were
I
close.
love
We
Dick
collaborated
Schaap.
on a lot of
Oh, man.
stories. And I'm still good friends with his son Jeremy.
Yeah.
December 21st, he passed 2001, and last year was the 20-year anniversary. I had Jeremy on my show. We commemorated all the stories, and he's an amazing human being.
Right. Let's talk about your show too. I'll give you a little plug here.
Yeah,
So, what
tell us.
days are you on, and what's the hours you're on? Tell the people.
So I have a show on Fox Sports Radio National. It's called The Bernie Fratto Show, and it airs Friday night at 11 p.m. Pacific to 2 a.m., and it also airs Saturday night from 11 p.m. Pacific to 3 a.m., and I'm getting to do a lot of fill-in work, too, now. Matter of fact,
Cool.
I'm sitting in for Ben Maller Thanksgiving night.
Oh, wow.
from 11 Yeah, that's about the 7th time I've done his show. Did NFL's Fox Sports Sunday the last 2 Sundays with Dan Byer, so
That's
I
great.
never turned down work.
That's
You know,
big.
I'm like,
That's
I'm
big
like Dick
shows.
Clark. Right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
If I turn it down, I'm afraid they won't call
Are
me.
you on
Yeah.
Saturday Night 2 live? So you're on 7 hours live?
Yeah, 7 hours live.
Plus the fill-ins.
Yeah,
Wow,
plus,
that's
plus the
nice.
fill-ins. Having the time of my... John's going to come on our
Yeah.
show
I'm
December
pumped.
9th.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
I'm pumped, too.
You got a
And
million
Crack-
listeners.
Yeah, I do. And Crack, you came on a while back. Rave reviews.
Yeah.
Got about, a bazillion retweets. You saw it.
Cool.
And so, yeah, I'm having the time of my
Cool.
life. Thank
Well,
you.
thanks for coming in here with us, too.
It's a privilege to be with you guys.
It's cool, man. It's great. We'd love to have you.
This weekend, I know you're not both diehard UFC fans,
I'm
but
not.
you know I got to talk about
Sorry.
it. You know I got to talk
Yeah.
about it.
Go ahead.
Kind of a UFC veteran, Stephen Thompson, Wonderboy Thompson.
Let me get you some odds. Go ahead.
He's fighting this weekend. He is plus 110 against a very tough Kevin Holland.
Wait, is it in New York City? Or
no,
it's
they're
PFL.
back
What is
here.
that? What's PFL? What is that?
PFL is Pro Fight League.
Okay, something different.
Yeah.
All right, UFC. Oh, all right. So,
Yeah, so Stephen
Holland
Thompson
versus Thompson.
and Holland. Yeah, Holland is the one that just lost to that Hamzat
Yep.
Chimaev
Okay.
not too long ago.
They're in
maybe a month or
Orlando,
two ago.
Florida this weekend.
Oh yeah, this weekend. Sorry, yeah, they're
Okay.
they're in Orlando. Yeah.
Cool. Now, will they sell out like Orlando, Florida? They'll sell out, like the stands. Like the reason
Yeah, for
reason
sure.
why I say it. Every time I've been in Florida, you guys will probably know too. I've been to basketball. I've been to hockey. They're just like fair weather fans over there. You can never fill out a stadium. They just don't have big fan support there.
Yeah, the UFC crushes wherever they go. You know,
okay.
they just broke the record at Madison Square Garden, and they broke their own record
Amazing.
for
Amazing.
the gate.
Yeah.
Producer Rob is saying here they're on a 28 sellout in a row
Wow.
streak or something like that.
Oh, I was with. I forgot. I sent you a photo.
Right, you
I was
and
with
Justin Poirier. It was
Justin
amazing
Poirier.
photo with
Yeah,
Teddy
I sent you a
Atlas's
photo. Yeah.
foundation.
I was
Right?
backstage with him. He was a nice kid. Do I say this on air? Let me think. Okay, he was asking me a ton of gambling questions.
You're kidding?
No, he was asking. I was like, who's favorite? How you doing?
Really?
He was asking
Like
some cool-
for sports, like to,
yeah, different
football and
sports.
stuff? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, just it was cool.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
It was cool that someone
I've never
can ask
met
you
him, but
back
I've
and
heard he's a
forth.
really nice
Such
guy.
a nice guy.
You could tell that he's a nice
Oh
guy
man,
in his interviews.
I'll tell you who's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I had a 10-minute conversation one-on-one, just me and Phil Sims.
Really?
He was so
Old
nice.
Giants quarterback.
He was so nice.
Really?
Jesus, what a nice guy. And you know, he's probably a little. Bernie's going to tell us. He's probably a little bit before me. Do you know what year he won a Super Bowl? I forget.
Yeah,
It was
1987.
87 Super Bowl.
The Giants beat Denver 39-20. He had a huge day that day.
Was it the MVP of the game? It's terrible. I don't know.
22
This.
Change your
25.
nickname to Bernie the Almanac.
No, I knew you would know
Holy
that.
Shit.
It's sad to me that I knew it was 80 something, but it's sad to me that I was just in high school. But it's sad to me I don't even know. He was the MVP of the game.
Yeah.
MVP. Of the
Well,
game.
the main reason I remember
Terrible
it is
Bill.
87. That was Super Bowl 22. Was the first time I'd ever come to Vegas to watch the Super Bowl. I was living in California then, and it was a riot to be here for the Super Bowl. So, one quick thing about the UFC, because I am a huge fan.
Yeah. Tell me.
Look, what Dana White has done is created, it's been one of the most successful business entities in the history of America because it built it from nothing.
Yeah.
And he capitalized on the fact that since the beginning of time, human beings have been fascinated with gladiator sports.
Yeah, he always says it's in our DNA. Fighting's in our DNA is what he always says.
It's in our DNA.
Yeah.
Just ask Cain and Abel, right? I mean, you got right out of the gate.
Very good.
First 3 human beings ever born, two were murdered, right? So we're off to a bad start. The long and the short of it is, I am fascinated with the whole dynamic of the UFC because when I took up boxing and trained, I started out at the UFC gym. I trained with the kid Jake Hatton. He was 11-2. He's retired. Love the guy.
Yeah.
UFC guys would come in. They're gentlemen.
Yeah.
They're urbane. They're all college educated.
Yep. Wow. Smart
Boxers
guys.
typically come from, and they're great guys too, but wrong side of the tracks.
Yeah.
Fought to get out of it. Usually take Randy Couture, All-American wrestler, right? Went to college.
They're chess players.
They're smart. They're smart people.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very smart. And they're very urbane, very, charismatic.
Yep.
And this is just what they do for a living, right? So
Yeah.
this sport will only grow from here as mainstream people understand how to watch it.
I was going to say off the record, but we're on the record.
Yeah.
Poirier doesn't look like a tough guy. Sorry.
No, a lot of them don't. A lot of them. Justin Gaethje looks like a nerd if you see him in person.
When I
murder
see him,
you.
he just doesn't look like this.
Yeah.
He beat McGregor twice.
He beat McGregor twice after McGregor annihilated him the first time they fought.
Okay.
And it's a really good lesson because, Conor destroyed Dustin before they even got in the cage mentally.
Wow.
Just with his banter and everything, you could tell Dustin had no confidence walking in that fight.
Wow.
And he ever since that loss, which is probably maybe, don't quote me, 10 years ago now, or 8 years ago, Dustin's been on.
And is Dustin making millions of dollars now?
Millions of dollars, and he literally
What a
turned
nice guy.
that
I'm so
loss.
happy for him.
He turned that loss into fuel for the fire
Really?
to just be a
But I'll be
champion.
blunt, though.
Yeah,
If I grab him and just bear hug him, he's not getting out.
he's getting out.
He is?
Yeah, he's getting out.
He's just a little guy. I like
These
him.
guys,
getting out.
let me tell you something. These
He's
guys
getting
are
out.
Really? Damn.
Let's try it.
Damn.
Wait, I can
Well,
set
first
it
of
up.
all,
We're going to get him on here.
Yeah.
There's Sims. He was such a nice guy.
I would
You could
say,
see how
great guy.
Genuinely. But
I would say
was
this.
surprised. He didn't. I looked like I could take him.
Yeah. Well, he probably walks around at about 170. He's not.
Was he 170?
Yeah. Well, he just fought at 155.
I still have body parts to weigh more than him. It's all right.
These guys are athletic and limber, and here's the key. The minute you started to grab him,
Yeah.
he wouldn't let you get that close.
Right.
See, I'm not
You
thinking
can't
that.
grab
Let
him.
you get
He's
that
got,
close.
grab him.
Bill, he's got cat-like reflexes.
He's going to duck out of
Yeah.
it. He's going to duck out of it, and next thing your ribs are going to be,
Yeah.
All right, next
these
time I
guys
see him,
are-
I'm going to just try it.
Give
see
it a
if works.
shot.
Yeah. All right.
They are so limber.
What a great guy, though.
Yeah.
He was such a nice guy. Anyway.
One funny little tidbit: Vanessa Demopoulos won her fight on this past Saturday, and she was
found
being
this funny.
interviewed by Michael Bisping, and she said that she had a concussion from pole dancing, worse than any MMA injury she's ever sustained.
Pole dancing.
Pole dancing.
Vanessa who?
She had a connection. Demopoulos.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So for all you pole dancers out there, beware. Bernie, you're no stranger to a pole dance, right?
I'll have to plead the fifth.
Bernie's wife is listening.
Let me bring in my attorney. I believe you've met Mr. Cohn.
Yes, yeah. That's good. I'd like to remind everyone with the holiday season coming up, there's a lot of sports action going on. To download the Crack Wins app. You can also just go to crackwins.com. The app's on Apple. It's on Google Play. Crack, you still
Started out really good.
started out good.
Yeah. College basketball. First
Yeah.
couple weeks, we're going to win. I mean, we're going to have a winning season, of course. So these next few weeks, too. I mean, put it this way. When you lose your losses by a little and you win your wins by a lot, you're rolling. And that's exactly what's happening.
Say that again. I like that.
When
Say
you
that again.
when you lose, like last night was listen. I mean, yeah, there's someone in social media and media in general that talks about losers. I had like an underdog +5.5, +5 that lost in overtime. Like that when you lose like that, you're supposed to win in overtime.
Right.
+5. I lost another game. I had an under that went to double over. In regular overtime, I was still a winner on the under. It went to double overtime.
Oh.
So if I'm losing those, when you're losing by a little and winning by a lot, you know you're rolling.
Well, I think you would agree that the first 10 days, you see some market inefficiencies like you'll never see in any sport. First of all, in college sports, and certainly in basketball, typically you have better athletes on one side of the floor. Now, last night, Arizona was only laying 1.5 to San Diego State.
Yep.
Bad line, right? And Arizona just housed them, right? They
Yep.
worked them like a burger and fries. In 3 weeks, you're not going to find those lines
Yeah.
because they're going to adjust. It's very hard.
It gets harder as the season goes on, like Bernie says. When it comes to, yet I ran so good in December and January. Oh my God, for years. But you're right though. When it comes to even like March Madness, I'll bet the first round. I really don't bet too much. Later on rounds. It's like betting NBA. It's real tough.
By the way,
Gonzaga laying 8 to my guy Tom Izzo on a battleship. The wind's blowing around. No one can shoot.
They're out
you don't
on
give Michigan State 8 points.
Aircraft
They were-
carrier?
Yeah,
Is that what it is?
that was down at Go
they
ahead.
announced Final Fours coming to Vegas.
2028.
Yeah.
Nice.
And by the way, it's coming back to
retweeted it.
Detroit in a couple years.
Oh, wow.
And I covered that Final Four in 2009 when it was played at Ford Field, Michigan State and North Carolina in the finals. It was pretty cool. They had like a raised floor. It's wonderful it's coming here. We're going to get a regional here next year. A regional.
Yeah.
So anyway, so things are going good.
Yep.
NFL props, college basketball, college football. Only a couple weeks left of that, and things are rolling. Crackwins.com, Crackwins app.
And have you done your WSN ritual yet today?
Just on there. Just on there. And you know what I wanted to check because it's a big story in Maryland. Believe it or not, Maryland has starting tomorrow. Actually, today technically, the illegal sports betting has hit the apps. That's a big thing.
Oh.
It's one thing to be home. Like I go to my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law was a Secret Service agent. I go to his house for Christmas, and I can't bet the apps from his house though. So I have to go to the casino itself. No more. Now you can bet the app. It just started tomorrow. It's going to be big for. I know it's a little tiny state. It's a big gambling. Anything back east is big gambling.
Right.
Bernie will tell
I
you
want
that
to
too.
get. Oh yeah. Look,
Why
New
is
York's
that
doing
back
it-
east versus
New York's
west?
doing $1 billion a month.
It's instilled
It's
in
culture, right? It's
it literally it's a rite of passage. You know, growing up New York, New Jersey. Trust me, we bet
what
since
you
we were
do.
little kids.
Yeah.
He just said, the
trust me.
sports betting
my
capital
God.
of the world is not Las Vegas. It's not even New Jersey. It is New York.
They're doing a
New
billion-
York.
After all that.
New York is a sports betting
After
capital.
all
of the
that
world.
pushback.
They're doing
Yep.
they're doing $1 billion a month.
Not only that, there's an article
And
on WSN.
I want to give you top credit. Take your
ahead.
victory lap.
Yeah.
I had you on my show right before Prop 26 and Prop 27 in California got waxed.
Yeah.
Soundly defeated. He
Yes.
called it.
Yeah.
They didn't even come close to passing, and I don't know why. Oh, I do know why.
we know why.
I know why. I'm sorry. Never mind. But to your point,
take the fifth again.
The further east you go, I mean, there's a story about the priest, the young freshman, Notre Dame, suiting up for his first game, and the priest, Father, Mulcahy, comes in to pray over the team, and after the game, after the prayer, the young freshman says, "Father, does that really help us win?" He goes, "It helps. We got good linebackers."
Listen, there's a big article on WSN what Bernie's talking about. So
Really?
It's amazing. It's right on there. Look at that. New
Oh,
York.
yeah. I see it.
$500 million. $500 million. New York just gave sorry. The sportsbook industry just gave them $500 million in tax revenue, which they're putting back into education, youth sports, and I'm happy to say problem gambling. Because I'm one of the only guys in media.
You talk
like
about
I
that
said,
a lot.
I'm like I said, I do 7 to 9 different shows a week during football on different networks across the country. I'll tell you right now, something I talk about, and sponsors get so nervous, but it's just I can't help it. I grew up in a Jewish Italian house. Travis, you see what happens to you. You just talk. You talk bluntly. So I can't help doing that. I cost myself $25,000 a year by doing that. I lost a sponsor, but I don't care. Okay, so
We're rolling. We're cooking.
Uncensored.
So anyway, listen though, problem gambling. I talk about this constantly because I grew up in a household, literally since I'm 9 years old, 8 years old, 7 years old probably. My father was taking me to racetracks, getting those parlay cards. it wasn't only me. It was everyone in the neighborhood. We grew up in the neighborhood. We all gambled. We're pitching quarters behind a post office, playing, flipping quarters in wood shop. And I'm dead serious. This is all real stuff. My guys in Kingsburg could tell you this. I was always getting in trouble in high school gambling, always. And I know it is a problem. It is a problem. When I used to run to literally OTB, racetracks, casinos, bookmakers. I almost went on the lam once at 13 years old. Imagine that, lambing it.
Wait, I don't know what do you mean?
Oh, on the lam means California kids. On the lam means
the law's looking for you and you're hiding.
That means or in this case, it was a bookmaker. On the lam means a bookmaker, but you're right.
Okay, that could happen too.
It is the law though normally.
I've never heard that before. On the lam.
L-A-M.
You lam it. You hit the mattresses. But yeah, no, I've had all this stuff happen, and so I know what it is. Problem gambling as a kid and stuff. I know what it is. We have so many choices, especially growing up on the Jersey Shore in the Bronx. Listen, you have a woman, yeah, that's right, girls, lottery, racetracks, casinos, peer pressure from drugs and your buddies and kids, and now you have, you could smoke pot and nothing. I know it's legal. I'm just saying, there's so much peer pressure on so many different things it was illegal when I was a kid that now you want to throw sports betting in the mix. Yeah. Now you want to throw sports betting in, and these kids. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of kids that think, I've been watching this for years on TV. I can do this. So you
want to be a gambler.
So you want to be a gambler, yeah. And trust me, not only that, we're going to have a fallout here a couple years from now. We're going to see. We're going to have a giant fallout. No one wants to talk about it. Not just these kids, legal professionals, lawyers, doctors, industry, Wall Street guys. The problem gambling hotlines.
It's happening in England right now.
Literally swamped. I read an article about Connecticut. They can't even get enough help to handle the hotline. So you have to stay within your bankroll, stay within your means, and you got to learn for yourself too. No matter what I tell you, I had old-time Italian guys telling me, "Billy, don't get involved in this." I actually was one of the lucky guys that turned it around, that someone showed me positive gambling, someone showed me positive expected value, and someone showed me bankroll management. And this is a business. I don't even watch a lot of the games. Yeah, it's a business. It's a mathematical numbers game for me. I can make money not knowing anything, just knowing which way the markets are go and indicators in the market. And there's no sweat equity. I don't watch them at night and double up or something. The number one thing people do is they just want to get even when they're in the casino,
chase, right?
Whether it's a slot machine, a video poker game, a crap table, or sports betting. Just want to get even for the day. The last game's on TV. I got to bet that's on TV.
Yeah.
It's the worst thing you can do.
So you just gave a master class.
Yeah.
I am not a professional bettor, but I've been doing it since '86. But I want to think like a professional bettor. Here's the key. You're not a fortune teller. You're not predicting the future. You're managing risk. That's what you're doing. You treat it like a business. What I have discovered, and psychologists have discovered this, by the way, the reason it's so popular, people have been betting 80 years. You go back to New York in 1952.
Of course.
Come on, man. They ran.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Detroit, I can take you. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is there are two types of bettors. Your type, which is 1%, you treat it like a business. You want to make money. The other 99%, this is a sad fact. They get high making the bet, not winning the bet. They get that adrenaline rush, that pump. It enhances the viewing participation of the sport. It feeds their competitive spirit, gives them bragging rights, whatever the case may be. They get high making the bet.
He's saying get high. Remember?
Yeah.
Run the drug I said?
It's the same endorphin.
Running high.
Whether you're doing coke.
That's right.
Pole dancing.
That's right.
Betting.
Absolutely right.
They've been studies done.
You're right.
It's just coming out of the shadows now.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
I mean, everybody bets, for crying out loud.
Yep.
I mean, Milton Berle joked about it one day. He said,
Absolutely.
"You bet." He goes, "Yeah, I'm going to the track tomorrow. I hope I break even. I can use some money."
Right. Right.
So it's just the matter is,
it's so true.
So one of the things that makes my teeth itch, you hear these betting shows. Well, Vegas predicted. No, we don't predict anything. Books are managing risk.
Yeah.
They're not fortune tellers. They're not trying to predict. That's what you do. So if I can think like you do. Now, the second thing you said, the most important, don't endanger your bankroll. So if you say, okay, NFL season's 17 weeks long, I'm willing to $1,000. That's my bank. I set it aside. I could go to the movies. I could go have a hamburger, whatever. But this is entertainment to me too, for a lot of people. So that's $60 a week. So all of a sudden now you got the Jets and the Patriots 3-3 and you're ready to go overtime, then boom, right? Rug gets pulled out of your feet. Oh, no, that pisses me off. What's on TV at 4 o'clock? Okay. They call their bookie and say, give me Hoboken -7. I don't even know. It's on TV, right?
Sure.
Now you're double buried. Now you're chasing.
Yeah.
And then once that starts, that slippery slope starts.
It is. It is. And you know what? It's happened to everyone, including, like I said, including me. I love talking about it. I love talking about when I was a kid. And I did. Now, listen, it's so different now, the way I look at games and the way I look. I go back to that same scene in the Bronx Tale. I keep on mentioning the Bronx today. I can't help it. I go back to the scene when the kid's crying. He comes in and meets Sonny for the first time. He sits him down. He goes, the Mick. I just hate this coach. He made the Mick cry. The guy says, Mickey Mantle, that's what you're worried about? Mickey Mantle makes $100,000 a year. See if your father can't pay the rent. See if Mickey Mantle
I love
will pay
that.
it for
I love
you.
that.
Yeah.
He doesn't care about
Exactly.
you. Why do you care about him? And I'm sorry. I don't care about any players, any teams. After I bet on them, I don't care what happens to them off the field. I don't care about anything. I care about one thing. My allegiance is my bankroll and my family. That's it.
When we first met, you said, don't even watch the games. You'll have
Yeah.
10 years
Yeah,
to life by now.
Yeah.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well, it was a good segue because you mentioned Mickey Mantle and the Yankees. I'm curious to see where Bernie says Aaron Judge is going to
It
land.
rhymes with San Francisco Giants.
No,
They're not gonna
bite your tongue.
They're not okay. So they're not going to be out. By the way, the Dodgers offered him $214 million yesterday. They already turned it down.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's the.
Like, I think it was like a
offer.
5-year
What are
deal.
they thinking?
I think it was
Do
like
the
a 5-year.
Giants have that kind of money, you're saying?
Yes, they're
And
already
he's from that area.
I know he is, but
Right.
I didn't know the Giants have
But now, I guess
like
so.
They're not going to be
400 million,
outbid.
$300 million
Oh, yeah.
there?
Don't be surprised. Yeah. Well, see, he's 30. So the Giants are willing to go that 10-year deal, $450.
They'll rip Yankee Stadium down if they get rid
Well,
of the
What
Judge.
about the whole, state taxes? The taxes
Well, that
are
matters.
high.
Yeah.
So does
I
that
think
matter?
he's staying. You think he's going?
I don't think he wants to be there.
Oh, well, that
Let me
could
tell
be
you
true.
something.
They
Aaron
insulted
Judge
him.
is-
Insulted him a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Little bit.
So you give the Dodgers, you
Goodfellas.
give the Dodgers no chance to sign him.
He's already turned him down.
Offer number one.
Well, the Dodgers are smart. They don't want to pay guys past 35, and you got Mookie Betts in right field. So
Yeah.
right? So
He'd move to center. Bellinger's gone.
here's the deal. Aaron Judge is a really unique, wonderful human being.
Love him.
Adopted. Right?
I love
Parents
him.
didn't want him.
Yep.
So grows up in the Bay Area.
Those parents are kicking themselves at this point. Those
Nah, not really.
Those
There could be
biologicals.
situations when it comes to adoption. There could be situations, though. So.
All right, fair
But
enough.
so what happened was there were times this year, more than once, when Aaron Judge was booed in Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
It was the subject of the blunt of many of the
he was
sports
booed
talk
during the
shows.
playoffs. He struck out 12 times in a
yeah,
row or
They're
whatever
tough.
it was.
They're tough.
Dude,
They're
right,
tough
Guy
fans,
carried
man.
the
Those
team.
bleacher creatures.
He carried
Yeah.
that team on his back, and they're booing him in the playoffs.
Have Sean tell you about his experience first time in right field with the bleacher creatures. You know about
Yeah.
the bleacher,
Yeah.
okay. So they're coming, and I remember having to go, Mom, they're talking about you, Mom. And so somebody said something I can't
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And Sean turned around and goes, that's pretty good. And all of a sudden, next inning, he comes out to his right field, and they're going, Sean Green doesn't suck. Sean Green doesn't.
Oh,
but
my
they were
God.
killing
over.
Aaron Judge. Killing him. And he's smart. He's not going to go public with it.
Wow.
He's not going to dare his laundry in the media.
Yeah.
His heart's in San Francisco. San Francisco said they're not going to be outbid. I'll be shocked if he's not a
Bernie,
Giant.
I can't handle the DMs I'm going to get from my
No, because
stupid
that
Giants
makes
fan
them
friends.
that makes them a legitimate threat over there. Not that they weren't already. I mean yeah.
Well, there's
the
all-
Dodgers are
the-
done if they
so.
get
So
Oh, you're
Sorry.
killing me.
December 6th is the 30-year anniversary of when Barry Bonds
Oh, God, it was-
signed
Yeah.
7 years, $42 million. We're going, oh my God, $42 million, right? Remember that? December 6th, 1992. They're comparing this to that. Another kind of a homecoming. Barry Bonds,
Okay.
Bobby Bonds.
When Bobby was let go out of New York, people went crazy. When Bobby Bonds, well, this is before, obviously, Barry's dad.
Sure.
So anything can happen. I mean,
Yeah.
I thought that Cano was going to be a career
too.
Yankee. I thought he was
Yeah.
going to, like a Derek Jeter
that was
type.
a mistake. He went to
Anything
Seattle,
can- yeah.
But
so.
but there's a different dynamic here because of where he grew up and the way the season ended, and he hit the 62 home runs, and I don't. I'll come back. I'll eat my crow if
Yeah.
We all
he's
will.
go back in New York.
It's funny you just said that. Adam Lieberman, my
Yeah.
co-host on Action Junkies, he just tweeted yesterday. He said Aaron Judge has a choice. He can be Derek Jeter or he can be Robinson Cano.
Oh my God! Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But going back to WSN, let's finish
Yeah,
this.
go
here.
ahead, go ahead.
So they invested the $500 million back. So I do like that. I do like that, and it's part of its problem gambling. Maryland, I told you guys about Maryland. There's an article about Maryland. An article about Texas. Now listen, Texas is one of those big three. God.
Wait,
Florida.
what about it? Oh, there's no game?
No, Florida, Texas, and California. But Texas lawmaker with casino interests has a bill to legalize sports betting. It's on WSN.
That'll get through, right? You don't think?
I don't know. Let me tell you something. Texas is full of gamblers. Houston, oh God. Dallas, these areas are giant gamblers. Giant.
Yeah.
They're big gamblers down there. Also an article on Florida here, so that's pretty good. Kentucky. This is one of the good portions of WSN. Of course, you can find all of our podcasts on WSN.com, including this one, of course, when it goes up.
And then the bonuses.
The bonuses is the big one. There's the bonus section here. Again, they have negotiated deals with these sports books. I have to admit, I never heard like these two that are on there today. There's two brand new ones. I never heard of them. Owner's Box, $500 deposit match. That means you put $500, you get $500 matched. Outlast, don't know, it's a DFS site, but $200 match.
Wait, what's a DFS site?
Daily Fantasy.
Daily Fantasy.
They're the new ones. It looks like they're the new ones, but you literally just go onto their site and go on to the legalized states that have the sports betting. And in your area here, they have negotiated FanDuel, DraftKings, PointsBet, just some sick bonuses.
Free money.
It's amazing that the bonuses that they have negotiated. You can't even go to the site sometimes and get that bonus. But WSN.com for all your gambling needs, including these bonuses, guys.
Well said. This was fun.
Yeah, this is a good show.
Yeah.
We went a little long, but
Bernie ought to drop by a little more often.
Such a privilege to be with you guys. And real quickly, you got a brother that's in the Secret Service?
my brother-in-law.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
He's 23 years.
Wow.
23 years now.
That's cool.
And he was under a lot of different regimes.
That's amazing.
He was under a lot. He thought about going to be someone's private bodyguard.
Talk about stories.
And
I had a brother that was a mall cop. Does that count or not?
Yeah.
he's in with the team too that travels with. I'm not privileged to say.
I wonder if he knows my buddy. I have a buddy too. Yeah. 20 years.
He's showed me a lot of pictures and sent me some pictures from different places and stuff. And it's a tough job. It's actually a very stressful job.
Oh, I can imagine.
That doesn't pay what you think.
I can
No,
imagine.
it
Like
doesn't.
you think you'd get big money. I mean, he doesn't get paid what you think. So and
It's really right up there with serving your country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's putting his line. He literally would jump in front of a bullet for the president.
Yeah.
And he's been with many of the presidents.
Yeah.
So yeah, good deal.
Well, this was fun, Bernie. Any parting thoughts?
Just happy Thanksgiving to you
Happy
guys.
Thanksgiving too.
I think Ohio State handles Michigan, and
Okay.
we'll just leave it right there, I guess.
All right, I like
All
it.
right.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you so much.
Bet the house
Thanks.
on Dallas.
Thanks
Bet
for
the
coming.
house on Dallas. We'll see you next week.